expressed on this program are not those of intellectualradio.com, its subsidiaries, or sponsors. Encouraging, educating, and empowering you into action. This is Warriors Talk with your host, Lady ReShell.
Hello, hello. Welcome to Warriors Talk with author and founder Lady ReShell, where we move away from awareness towards action. It's Relationship Monday, and our topic for today is Signs He's Using You. We are live on Intellectual Radio. We just heard from the Drive at 5 with Roman. Keep it locked right here on Intellectual Radio and allow us to feed your brain. On the last episode of Warriors Talk, I talked with Brenda Jeffries, and she gave us her perspective on caregivers. Go over to YouTube, type in Intellectual Radio, stay connected for any episodes you may have missed. The quote of the day is, a healthy relationship will never require you to sacrifice your friends, your dreams, or your dignity. We are grateful for our sponsor. We have EmanuelC.O.G.I.C with Pastor Michael Richardson, who has a special message for us.
Greetings, I am Pastor Michael Richardson.
And I am First Lady Anastasia Richardson from the Emmanuel Church of God in Christ. We're located at 3058 West Van Buren in Chicago, Illinois. We are building upon a solid foundation.
And we're inviting you to join us every Sunday morning on Facebook Live at EmanuelC.O.G.I.C at 10:15 Central Standard Time. And you can also view our videos on our YouTube channel at EmanuelC.O.G.I.C-MR. Once again, this is Pastor Michael Richardson
and First Lady Anastasia Richardson, and we are from the Emmanuel Church of God in Christ. We are building upon a solid foundation.
Here are your trending topics for today. The U.S. should prepare for a possible summer surge of COVID-19 cases across the southern states. Former White House Coronavirus Respondent Task Force Coordinator Deborah Bricks told CBS on Sunday morning, it is possible and is predictable that the South will see surges in the summer and the northern states will see surges in the winter, especially around the holidays. Bricks said that she closely followed data out of South Africa, which has recently seen a rise in COVID-19 cases. Each of these surges are about 4 to 6 months apart, she says. That tells me that natural immunity lasts long enough in the general population for 4 to 6 months. That's a significant surge is going to occur, she told Face the Nation. Those are your trending topics for today. If you are tuned in on any form of social media, please like the show, share the show, invite somebody else in on the show that you feel may benefit from this valuable information. Our topic today is Signs He's Using You. And we are going to jump right into the conversation. I just want to say Rizal is not here today, so keep him in your prayers. Excuse me, his mom was rushed to the hospital, so, just keep him in your prayers that his mom will be all right. I think she's like 89 years old, so God has blessed her to live a long life. So hopefully he'll keep her a little while longer. So keep him in your prayers. So again, signs he's using you. So we're going to jump right into the conversation. The first sign that he's using you is you are not a priority, right? You're not a priority. He's going to see you whenever he wants to see you. Everything is going to be on his terms and not yours, right? You're going to always feel like something is more important than you are to him. Every time you say you want to do something, something is going to always come up unless he wants to see you. So you're not going to be a priority in his life. Number 2, he talks about the future, but guess what? You're not in it. Have you ever heard somebody say, oh yeah, I'm going to go and do this, and they talk about the future, they lay it all out, but you're nowhere in there. You're sitting there like, okay, we're together, but he's talking about something totally different. Like, I'm not even there. I can remember dating this guy. I think we was dating for like a year, and he was telling me that he wanted to move to Texas. And I was like, okay, like we had never discussed moving to Texas. So I'm just like, where is this coming from? And then he throws in there, oh yeah, I've already been on 2 job interviews in Texas already. And so he was planning on moving there. And I'm just like, when did you go on these interviews? Like, I didn't know anything about it. Well, 6 months later, come to find out, he was dating a girl in Texas. This girl ended up sending me a message on social media, telling me that they were dating. She hacked his Facebook page and she was sending messages to everybody that he was sending messages to. So all of the women he was communicating with, we all were getting the messages, right? And she was controlling his Facebook page. It was so crazy. So yeah, they're going to talk about, and this could go for a man or a woman, right? They'll talk about the future, but guess what? You're not going to be anywhere in that conversation. So whatever it is that they're trying to do, and that's a big clue. That's a big red flag, especially if y'all been dating for a while. Hey, Lisa. Hey, Cadillac. Thanks for tuning in. Hey, Anna. So if y'all been dating for a while and they still are not including you in that conversation, then something is wrong with that. And Anna said, yes, I believe if they wanted you in their life, that they would have you in their future discussion. And if they're not, then don't feel bad. Just, prioritize what you should be doing or address it. A lot of times we don't like to address stuff. We like to tell everybody else what's going on, how we feel, but we're not talking to that person. So if you feel like they're leaving you out of the conversation when it comes to future, then have a conversation with them. Where do you see me in your future? And the funny thing is when I did ask that guy that, and then he told me, he said, he was like, I see you in my future, but at what capacity, I don't know. That was my exit right there. That was my exit. Like, okay, so apparently, this have gone as far as it could go. And okay, so I knew that was my time to exit. So number 3, the sign that he is using you is that the conversation is always going to be about sex. Always, like whatever you are talking to this person, it's going to, before y'all hang up, it's going to lead to sex. You could say something about, oh, I got to go to the grocery store and get some fruit. I'm about to make a smoothie. And he'll probably say something like, yeah, that fruit would taste good on you. It would be really good. Just anything to lead to sex, to try to, put your mind in that frame. Lisa says she's been there already. So you have to watch your conversation. I always say if it starts off with sex, then it's kind of hard to change the conversation, right? So if you just met somebody and y'all getting to know each other, and then right away the conversation goes to sex, unless y'all met and say, okay, this is what this meeting is about. But if it's not, and you're really trying to get to know this person, if you bring up sex, it's going to be hard to turn that button off. So I would say try to just leave it off as long as you can. Eventually it'll come on because you both are adults, and sex is natural. So it's like, but try to leave it off as long as you can, because once you put it in the mix, it's kind of hard to turn it on. Number 4, the signs that he's using you. Sex is one directional, right? It is not about pleasing you. This is all about pleasing this person, because this person is selfish and because they don't really care about you. It's just about getting their needs met, right? So whenever you are having sex, when you're done, you're going to feel like, what just happened? And I'm not even satisfied. But they're going to be walking, but they may roll over and go to sleep. And they're going to be satisfied because they're not interested in satisfying you or meeting your needs. It's all about them. Number 5 is, this is funny. He is less likely to add you to his social media. Yeah, if we're dating, I don't really want to be added to his social media if we're dating, but this is one of them. If he's using you, he may try to hide you from his social media. But if you're not in a committed, if you're just dating, I would say you should not want to be on his social media. But if you're in a relationship and y'all have a commitment and y'all been together some years, I would say every now and then he should post you. Every now and then you should post them, but it doesn't have to be every single day. Everything y'all go through, you're constantly posting. People are sick of y'all. And then when y'all break up, people asking you what happened, you don't want to say. Well, we all in this relationship, so we want to know what happened. So I would say with the social media one, just kind of be careful, because once you put it out there, it draws a lot of, different and unwanted advice and attention. So, yeah, I would say be careful with that one. So number 6 is he's going to dismiss when you try to address something. He'll be very dismissive, right? If you're trying to come to him with some type of issue or problem, he's not really going to hear it. Why? Because he don't care. And again, this could be he or she. They don't really care about you. They don't care about your feelings. Your opinion is not valuable to them. They don't really want to know. So they don't want you to address anything. They're not going to address it because they're not going to solve the problem. So you coming to them with a complaint, they don't care. They're not there to solve the problem. They're just there just to get their needs met. And that is it. Anna says, I've heard that guys would sometimes don't post because the girls on their social media starts to like you more. That could be true if you don't have girls on your page, and because it makes the illusion that you're single, right? So if you're never posting a guy or if you're never posting a girl, then people will think that you're single. So of course they're gonna like you. They're gonna want to be in the inbox. They're gonna slide in the DMs and try to get you to come do certain things or whatever. So I mean, and it could be private because they have the little button to where you can say in a relationship or whatever. But people still ignore that one too. Number 7, there's a double standard. There's a double standard because whatever is good for him is not good for you, right? So if he wants to see other people and he wants to go hang out with the opposite sex, he can do that. But you can't, right? It's a problem when you do it because it's disrespectful. So whatever it is that he wants to do, or she, again, this could go both ways, they're going to want to do it, and they're going to want you not to say anything with them. Why? Because they haven't even discussed to you what this relationship is, if it is a relationship. And so often people tell us that they don't want to be in a relationship, and what do? Oh, I'm gonna try and love on him and change his mind, and maybe he just wasn't with the right person that made them want to be in a relationship. No, if they say they don't want to be in a relationship, they mean it. It could be that they don't want to be in a relationship with you, right? But if they find somebody else that matches them, and then next thing you know, you see them in a relationship, you're like, I thought they said they didn't want to be in a relationship with you. They don't. I had a girlfriend that this guy told her, he was straight up. He was like, no, I don't want to be in a commitment. Don't want to be in a relationship. But they was hanging out just like they was a couple. And then like 2-3 years down the line, she was like, okay, I'm about to push for more because we've been doing all of this. I'm cooking for him. And, and he just told her, look, okay, we need to stop doing what we're doing because, she started, getting more and more in. Like the more time you spend with this person, the more you bind into this relationship, and it's really not a relationship. So we have to listen when people tell us how they feel or what they want, what they don't want. We have to be like, okay. And then you have to, just act accordingly. So they don't want to be in a relationship. And if they calling you all the time, trying to do all this stuff, oh, no, I have other plans. Why? Stop leaving yourself open for this person who don't want to say, okay, we together. Stop doing that. Lisa says, I don't have time for games. Girl, I hear you, Lisa. No, nobody do. Cadillac says you should listen to them. You should listen to them. Because if you don't, guess what? You're going to get hurt in the end. In the end, it's going to be you that's hurt because you are so invested in this person, and they have already told you from the beginning that that's not what I want. You could have took that time and cultivated something with somebody else. Versus this is a hollow situation because that person don't want you. Kenya says straight facts. It's so true. We have to listen when they tell us that they don't want a relationship, when they tell us that they don't want to get married, when they tell us that they don't want kids, when they tell us they don't want to date just one person. Listen. And if it's not something you want to do, then move around. Number 8, signs that he's using you. And again, this could be a man or a woman. They are a taker, right? They are going to take and drain you for everything that they can. As long as you allow it, guess what? They're going to do it. As long as you keep saying yes, they're going to do it. You're going to always feel like every time you turn around, they coming at you with something, right? They have some sob story that they telling you about that happened, that they need you to help them out. And then the minute you call them and be like, hey, I got a flat, I need you to come help me, they're going to be like, oh, now I'm not even in the area. Can you call somebody else? They're not going to be there for you because it's all about them. It has nothing to do with you. Lisa said, watch and listen. I'm sure there are signs. The signs are there, Lisa. But a lot of times we ignore those red flags. We ignore the signs thinking that we can change this person, thinking that, maybe they just wasn't with the right person. I'm the person. We've all heard this saying, like some women get with a man and they'll say, she wasn't doing her job. That's why he left her, because she wasn't doing her job. That's why it was so easy for me to take him, because she wasn't doing her job. Right. Like, and they truly believe that. So they go in, turning flips for this person because they feel like the other person was not doing their job, which in fact, the other person could have been doing everything. It's just that maybe that person was just never satisfied. Cadillac says, and never give back. No, they're not giving you nothing back. Why? Because they don't care about, it's not about you. It's not about you. They're not focused on you. Number 9, this is the signs that he's using you. He refused to define the relationship. He'll say stuff like, we don't have to give titles. Why are we putting labels on this? We know what we are. We don't have to, everybody don't need to know. We don't have to explain stuff to everybody. And you be like, okay. You just go along with it, right? Because it sounds convincing, right? And because you want it so desperately, because you're in a desperate place. Eminem, I guess that's what it is. She said, but they're the problem the whole time. Absolutely. But you're the problem too, because you're falling for this stuff. You know when you're being used because you feel it in your gut. If you have to question, am I being used? You being used. If you telling the stories to your friends, you running down a whole list of stuff that this person has done to you, you already know you're being used because you have to ask these questions. If you got to ask questions, then that should tell you need to move or you need to address the situation. A lot of times we don't address the situation. Address the situation. Tell that person, I feel like you're using me. And this is what I feel like. And then see what they say. See if they take what you say seriously and if they're going to change their behavior, if they're going to do something different. Cadillac says, shaking my head, you will never move on if you don't know what you are getting into. And most of the time, these people know. Sometimes these people will show you up front exactly who they are. And again, you're desperate. You feel like you can change this person. You lonely. And so you operating out of being lonely and you just like, okay, so a piece of man is better than no man. So you'll just settle for whatever it is. Instead of taking that time to heal. Instead of taking that time to heal and work on yourself or put yourself in a different category, situation, go to different places so you can attract different people, stop operating in the same circles. And then you may attract somebody totally different. Eminem says, but they choose to ignore them. They ignore them and then they stay in the situation, right? The person will ignore you. They're going to ignore whatever you try to bring to them to address, to complain. They don't care because it's not about you. It's about them. Kenya said that's what they say, but that's incorrect. That's so incorrect. It's a sad situation, but trust me, people fall into this all the time. And it's really sad. I'm guilty. If I look back, I am so guilty. I just laugh at myself because it's like, oh yeah, you were being used. And, at the time you don't really see it. And the good thing is that people will tell you, people around you will see it before you see it. But then you'll just stay in it because again, people are lonely. People just want that companionship. They want to be around people. So you know that you're being used. Why? Because they only call you during booty call hours, which is 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. If they calling you between those hours, talking about what you doing, you should come see me, and you hop up and go, you a booty call. because at that time it's like there's no really places that are open for you to go. You know, you don't even have to do your hair or put on any clothes. Like, you about to go over there and Netflix and chill, and Netflix and chill leads to children. So you need to stop going over there. If you got to turn your ringer off, turn your phone off at 10 o'clock, turn it off. Like, what was you doing the whole day that you just not calling me at 10 o'clock to go somewhere? And you're not going nowhere. All you're doing is going over their house, right? You're not going nowhere, because they're going to be like, oh, we could just, go through the drive-through and grab something to eat and just go back to my place because ain't nothing open. They done already went out with the other person, wine and dad the other person, right? And that other person might have been like, I don't feel like doing nothing. Or they might have got something from the other person. And you just the next one on the list. And let me just say this. This is not all men, okay? Because we do have some good men out there. We do. So, but this is for the people, you know who you are. You know if you fit this category. And I think we all have been here to where we have been in a situation till we have used somebody. If you're dated, you've used somebody in your time. We've all guilty of it. Lisa said, I believe we see it because we pray. It's just our imagination. You know what? And you questioning yourself. You sitting there questioning yourself. Is this real? Like, is this really happening? That's a clue right there. That's a clue that you should get out of it. Cadillac said, because sometimes you think it's going to get better, so you stick around. And guess what? It doesn't. It really doesn't. And Lisa says she agrees with you. Eminem says they might even trick you into thinking that this is how men is supposed to treat women. And if you are a woman that didn't have a male figure in the household, you raised by a single mom, you didn't have maybe any brothers or uncles that, really took the time to pour into you, you may think this is not normal because you don't know what it really feels like because you didn't see it. You didn't have that example in front of you. But I'm going to say that's still not an excuse because there's so many books, there's so many videos out here where you can educate yourself. You could take classes. There's so many things that you could do. If it feels wrong in your gut, it's wrong. She said, then you think that until you meet the right one. Thank you, Eminem. I'm sorry. Until you meet the right one. And then you feel the difference. You know the difference on how they're treating you, right? And you just like, wait a minute. Then you feel like, this person is too good to be true. What's wrong with them? Now, the person that's really treating you right, you think there's something wrong with them because you're so used to the bad treatment. You so used to being treated so bad that when somebody do treat you right, now you're giving this person a hard time. And as women, we do that. We do. I'm not going to even try to cover for us. Cadillac said, for real, all men is not like that. But sometimes we put up a shield too. Well, I'm glad you can admit that, Cadillac, that men put up shields just like women do. Men and women both play games just like women do. So like I said, this show is just not all about men. It's not about bashing men because we know that we have some good men out there. We know that we have some trifling women out here that's trying to juggle and balance men. So Walter Jones said he is enjoying the show. Oh, wow. Thank you so much. I'm glad that y'all are enjoying the show. While we are enjoying the show, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a quick break and recognize my sponsor, who is Paula Kelly with Allstate, and she is one of my sponsors. She's been here for a while. I want to say about 3-4 years she's been with me now. And she is an African-American business owner. She is also a breast cancer survivor, and she's located at 327 East Glenwood Lansing Road in Glenwood, Illinois. She could be reached at 708-758-3300. Call her up and tell her that Warriors Talk sent you. All right, we're talking about he is using you, right? You're being used and you don't even know it. All right, so we're on number 11. We just got done talking about the booty calls. Number 11, never make plans ahead of time. He or she is always calling you at the last minute, right? again, that goes back to you not being a priority. Because if you was a priority, they would have called you probably Monday, babe, clear your schedule. Friday, we're going out, right? You got the whole week to look forward to it. They calling you at 9:55, 5 minutes before booty call hours to see, hey, I got these tickets to this game. You want to go? That's because everybody else that he done called before you, he done went through the little black book and they said no. So you like the last person on the list. And he probably knew you was going to say, yeah, that's why he's going to leave her to last, because he know how desperate you are and that you're going to say yes. So if they're not making you our priority, planning, taking time out to, no, you're not going to leave me for the last minute. Not doing it. All right, number 12, you're being used. His money is extremely tight. Man, it's so tight, right? You go into his house and he cooking spaghetti, and then you at your house, you cooking hamburgers and fries, right? He ain't taking you to no restaurants, right? You ain't going nowhere. But he got this bad watch on. He got these Jordans on. Man, he driving this car. And you like, well, how come we ain't going to no restaurants? Why are we not really going out? But I see, he all decked out because he don't care about you. It's not about you, right? He's gonna pitch pennies. He's gonna be so tight when it comes to you. He's not giving you nothing. Don't you dare call him and tell him you have an emergency and you need some money. Because guess what? He gonna be like, I ain't got it. I ain't even got it. He ain't gonna be able to help you. And it's not that he can't help you, it's that he won't. He's not gonna do it because he don't want you to depend on him for those type of things. And he ain't gonna even call you back and say, did you take care of it? He just gonna be like, oh, you got this. You a strong woman, you got it. And he gonna hang up and you gonna be trying to figure out what to do. And you so crazy that next time you gonna end up calling him again. Oh my goodness. Ooh, this is making me hot. Kelak said, or he might want to be out. Oh, Kelak. This is true. He might want to be out, or he may not want to be out or seen with you. Is that what you're trying to say? He may not want to be out or seen with you. So y'all gonna always be at his house or your house, right? You're not ever gonna be seen out where people can see you. And if you go out, it's gonna be way out somewhere where y'all don't know nobody. You're like, why are we driving 2 hours, to go eat? Because he may bump into his other people. He may bump into his other ladies and nope. Hey, Danielle. Danielle said one-sided relationships. Absolutely. It's all about him. It has nothing to do with you. He's going to get what he wants. And then once he gets what he wants, guess what? He out of there. So that makes you're his little secret. Like Kelak said, you're not going out with him. You're his little secret. He already got the woman that, his eye candy that he puts on his arm. That's not you. That's not you. Right? You're not the little Miss Pretty feminine lady. He already got that person that he puts on his arm. You're seeing in the dark and at the house. All right. Walter said you are preaching. All right. The topic again is, you guys, he's using you. And we are live on Intellectual Radio. Share this show out with somebody who you feel need to hear this information, because I guarantee you somebody out there getting used right now. We talked about your friends don't like this person. Your friends are going to be the first one to tell you, girl, it's something about him. And 9 times out of 10, if they telling you it's something about him, he probably tried to come on to them, or either they dated or messed around. They just didn't tell you. But a lot of times they'll be able to sniff him out, and they'll be able to say, And then we'd be like, oh, she's just jealous. She's just mad because I got, No. A lot of times they be telling the truth. So we just don't like to hear it because we don't want to say, girl, you was right. He did me like this. Kelak said, the one he takes to the family gatherings. So what are you saying? The one he takes to the family gatherings, what does that mean? Because I've heard that sometimes they could take you around family and it doesn't mean anything. They could take you and everybody else around the family. So are you saying, Kelak, if a man takes you around his family, that means something? The women want to know. Okay, so he don't want to know anything personal about you. He don't want to know your business. Don't tell him your problems, because again, he's not going to help you solve any problems, right? Because he's not trying to care about you. So if you're telling him your problems, guess what? He's not listening. He will not be able to repeat anything you said because he's not listening to your problems. He don't want to solve any of them. He don't. All he want to do is come over there and get his needs met. And when his needs are met, then he got to go. He's not even cuddling with you. He is up and out of there. Cadillac say, yes, it's supposed to mean something. Oh, so ladies, if you are getting taken around the family, to the family's house, the family gatherings, Cadillac said that means something to a man. All right. I'm just going to go by what you say, right? So he's closed off to you, right? You don't really even know this person because he is not even opening up to you, right? You don't even know his middle name. You don't even know how many kids he got. He's not opening up to you because he don't want you to know anything about him. He really don't want you to be really going out of your way. Because like sometimes women, we go overboard. We like, oh, I want to throw him a surprise party. So you get his phone and you call everybody in the phone and have him come to the party. And he like, how these people get here? You like, surprise. Like we go overboard sometimes. So he don't want you to do all that, right? He just want to have the sex. Sometimes he just want the companionship. You know, he don't want you to go, don't do that. All right, so now I think I gave you about 14 ways to know that you're being used by somebody. So you shouldn't have an excuse. So now let's talk about some ways that we can not get played and waste our time, right? When we're dating somebody. We don't have to sit up and take being used. So the first thing that you need to do to avoid being used or wasting your time is to avoid guys that has a low self-esteem. You should be dating somebody, their self-esteem hopefully should match yours or a little higher. Because if they have low self-esteem, they're not going to be able to, they don't love themselves. So they're not going to be able to love you, not in a healthy way, not in a healthy way. So make sure, and then they'll pull you down. If you have a high self-esteem and you dating somebody that doesn't, they sometimes pull you down to their level. So you want to make sure that, again, you're going in healthy mentally. You're going in healthy in the relationship so that people can smell when you're desperate. Number 2, ways to make sure that you're not getting played is to make sure that his values regarding family and relationship matches yours. He ain't spoke to his family in 10 years, right? He had him and his mama had an argument, and he don't fool with her no more. Like he don't go to none of the family gatherings, like. And you a family person. It's all about family with you. You spend it, y'all do reunions once a year. You and your siblings take your mom out to lunch every 6 days. Like, he does not. He don't want nothing to do with his people. So you never meet the people because, he on bad terms with everybody. That's not if you're a family person, then that's not somebody that you want to be around. I'm a big family person. Like, I have a big family, and it's all about, like, every time we get together, we don't have to invite nobody from the outside because my family is so big that, it's a party just with the siblings and our kids. We don't have to include anybody else. So I'm all about family. If you're a person that's not, rooted in family, then yeah, we could be friends. That's about it. All right, number 7, how to avoid wasting your time is don't accept bad behavior. A lot of times we excuse bad behavior, there was a one-time thing, he knocked me upside my head. Oh, he really never get upset like that. I don't know what was wrong with him. Oh, he called me out my name. That was just a one-time thing. Like, even like y'all going places and he always late, or sometimes he's supposed to pick you up and he don't show up to pick you up, and you have to call somebody else to come pick you up and he's in your car. Like, certain things just you don't have to even deal with it. Like, don't deal with it, and don't be afraid to address it. Like, sometimes we're afraid to address it because we're afraid, oh, they're going to leave us. Don't be afraid to address it. Cadillac says he don't have a heart to forgive them, so it will be you. Did I read that right? Are you saying when you don't have a heart to forgive them, so it will be you? A lot of times he don't. Okay. He don't have the heart to forgive them, so it will be you. A lot of times we're walking around with unforgiveness in our heart, and we get into these relationships and we will put it off on the next person, right? Instead of you giving this person a clean slate, right? Sometimes we go into the relationship and we are watching everything that this person do to say, okay, they acted just like the next person, instead of giving them a clean slate. Like when we go into relationships, we should be giving people a clean slate. We should not be walking in unforgiveness. Unforgiveness leads to sickness. It leads to cancer. It leads to diabetes. Like, just, for your own health, just walk away. We're on number 4. Number 4 says, pay attention to what he does and not what he says. Action speaks louder than words, right? Watch what he says, because some people are sweet talkers. Some people will talk your ear off with all of this stuff, what they gonna do, and you just like, oh wow, but it don't add up. Like nothing they say is adding up. Nothing. Their actions. Watch how they act. Watch how they treat you, but don't fall for the okie doke. And a lot of times we do. Number 5. Make sure that you're not getting played, is to make sure he includes you in all aspects of his life. Ooh, that's a deep one right there. And this is you're not dating, you're in a relationship. Okay, so I don't want you to think, oh, you're dating and you're supposed to be, entangled in all aspects of his life. No. If you are in a relationship with somebody, then and y'all have a commitment, then yeah, you should be included in, and you should be in all aspects of his life. You should know what's going on to a certain extent, in his life. How can you be with somebody and say you love somebody? You don't know what's going on. You have no idea. Then yes, absolutely be quiet and watch. Absolutely. That's all you have to do. Sometimes as women, I always say women, we talk so much. We give men a lot of information that is unnecessary. When we first meet them, we tell them everything. And instead of us just, that information should come back. It should come out little by little as we, grow closer and get to know each other. But we telling them everything up front. Now they know everything about us. They know why we broke up with our last 10 boyfriends. They know that one beat on us and one was able to, cheat on us, and they know. So now they know, okay, I know what I can get away with if this is a man that's up to no good. Now they know what they can get away with you because, you done already been through it. So we have to learn not to talk so much. Cadillac says, forgive my fast texting. I'm as good as a woman, laugh out loud. Okay, I don't know what that meant, Cadillac. Okay, what number are we on? Cadillac, I'm not sure what you meant by that. We are on number 6. Number 6 says, be very sure he's into you. And we've all seen that movie, He's Just Not That Into You. And when somebody is just not that into you because they're not going to be very attentive to you. You can tell them that you broke your leg or something, you in the emergency room, like they're not going to be in a hurry to get to you, right? They're not, because they're just not that into you. They don't really want to know the little ins and out of your world. They don't care about you like that. Again, this is all about this person. It's all about this person and them getting their needs met. So number 7 is advocate for yourself. And advocating for yourself is opening up your mouth and asking questions and addressing situations instead of complaining to other people, instead of just letting stuff, you see the red flags and you just letting them roll over until one day you explode. And then that person looking at you like, what's wrong with you? And you like, you did this and you did that. Like, I did that 3 months ago. Like, you just not talking about that. Like, you have to be able to speak up for yourself, and have your peace. Your peace of mind is so important. And if that person is not catering to your peace of mind, then you do not need to be with them. We've heard, it's a saying with men. They say, you wonder like how men pick their women. A lot of them say they pick a woman who brings peace. Right? This woman brings peace to the household, and that's what they want. They don't want a woman she's fighting every time they get home. She's arguing about stuff, and and whenever she's around his friends, she's loud and telling all the business. That's not what they want. They want a woman who brings peace. Cadillac says, well, that depends on the vibe, the conversation talking about, and knowing each other is good. Yeah, I mean, you got to take the time to do that. Remember, this person is not trying to do that. This person is not trying to get to know you in any way. They don't. It's not, because it's not about you. It's all about them. So they don't really try. They're not trying to get to know you per se, because they have other people that they have to invest that time in, and that's just not you. Number 8 is wait to have sex. So if this is, then it says sex is awesome, but if you wait to have sex, you find the right one will wait. The right one will wait for you, right? So if a lot of times, and we all probably can speak from experience, to where we hopped ahead and had sex, and we're like, oh, this relationship going somewhere, so I might as well just go ahead and have sex when we're going to be together. Yeah, the next month y'all wasn't together. So I think, people say, oh, we grown, we can have sex, it's consensual. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I think sex changes the dynamic of any relationship once it happens. So Cadillac said, well, really 2 or 3 dates and you should know. You should know what in 2 or 3 days, Cadillac? If you want to date this person or not, or you feeling this person, like what does that mean? Another one is make sure that you feel relaxed and happy while you're around that person. Sometimes you with a person that makes you feel like you walking on eggshells, right? And it's like you have to watch what you say, watch what you do, and that person have your stomach all tied up in knots. And if you're around a person like that, that's not healthy for you. It's definitely not healthy for you. Oh, he says, yeah, in 2 or 3 days, you should know. Maybe that's just you, Cadillac, because I don't know. Maybe that's just you. Because some people say, oh, no, it takes longer than 2 or 3 dates. I think 2 or 3 dates and y'all having some good conversations and y'all getting to know each other, then maybe you can kind of get a feel of that person. But, if we're like, oh, we're going to the movies or we're going places where we're not really interacting, then that could be an issue. All right, so you guys learned that I gave y'all about 14 tips on how to know if somebody is using you, and then we had 8 tips on how to not get played, right? I mean, right now, we're too old to be. The game is so old. I don't understand how people are still even going through heartbreak, because right now, I mean, if you would take time out to just sit back and just look at everything that's going on around you, get under some people, especially if you're trying to get into like a lasting relationship and you know somebody who has a great marriage, like get under some people who has success with relationships and get your advice from that person. Yeah, every relationship is different, but sometimes you have to do something different in order to get a different result. So if that means that you have to just hold off and not date and, work on yourself and heal yourself and, go in hiding for a little bit until, you feel like you're healthy and strong enough to put yourself back, on the market. Because everybody, we were meant to be together. God made Adam, and then Adam was by himself. And what did he do? He made Eve. So we weren't meant to be by ourselves. We were meant to have companion. We were meant to have love. So it's okay to heal and then put yourself back out there. So, okay, you guys, I hope y'all enjoyed the show today. Again, pray for Rizal and his mom who was rushed to the hospital on today. Just keep him in your prayers, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to Warriors Talk. I will leave you with these words of wisdom. Far too many people are looking for the right person instead of trying to be the right person. Join me next Monday right here at 6 p.m. on Intellectual Radio. As always, thank you for tuning in to Warriors Talk with author and founder Lady ReShell, where we are changing lives one warrior at a time.
Thank you for listening to this week's edition of Warriors Talk with Lady ReShell. To find out more about Warriors Talk, follow at Warriors Talk, the number 1, on all social media outlets, and Warriors Talk with Lady ReShell on YouTube. Please join us next week and every Monday evening at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time on intellectualradio.com for Warriors Talk with Lady ReShell, where we encourage, educate, and empower you into action.